अस्सलाम वालेकुम बच्चों। As you know, yesterday we discussed about the growth cycle curve, and we discussed about the normal flora. We left with some of the slides. We discussed in detail the phases of the growth curve. Today we will finish these 2 or 3 slides, then we will move on to the next topic. Aerobic and anaerobic growth. Have you ever heard the aerobic word and then anaerobic?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rizal, what is meant by aerobic?
Ma'am, in which oxygen is used, that's aerobic, and in which oxygen is absent, that process is anaerobic.
Okay. For most of the organisms, an adequate supply of oxygen enhances the metabolism and growth. The oxygen acts as hydrogen acceptor in the final steps of energy production, catalyzed by the cytochromes. As you told that the aerobic growth is the growth in which oxygen is required for the growth, and anaerobic conditions are the conditions in which there is absence of, excuse me beta mema, excuse me, excuse me students, beta kindly follow the classroom rules. There are some rules now. In this way, you are disturbing the whole class. Okay, anaerobic anaerobic means the conditions in which okay. Anaerobic conditions are the conditions in which oxygen is required for the growth, and anaerobic means there will be absence of oxygen. The oxygen acts as the hydrogen acceptor in the final steps of the energy production, which is catalyzed by the cytochrome. Because the use of oxygen generates two toxic molecules, which are hydrogen peroxide and the free radical superoxide, bacteria require 2 enzymes to utilize the oxygen. First is superoxide dismutase, and the second one is catalase. Now look at this equation. Oxygen and the hydrogen acceptors will produce the hydrogen peroxide and the superoxide. And this hydrogen peroxide and superoxide will be toxic to the bacteria. So they will degrade, and some of the enzymes are required for this. In the first step, the superoxide dismutase is required, and in the second one, the catalase is required. So in the second step, the hydrogen peroxide will be converted into oxygen and water. So it will be non-toxic. Now, the classification of bacteria according to the oxygen requirements. Some of the bacteria are obligate aerobes, some are facultative anaerobes, some are obligate anaerobes, and some are microaerophiles. What is meant by obligate aerobes? Obligate aerobes are those organisms that require oxygen for their growth. So the oxygen will be necessary for their growth. Obligate means that they must require oxygen. Obligate aerobes mean that they must require oxygen for their growth and they will not survive in the absence of oxygen. Then comes the facultative anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes are those organisms that utilize oxygen to generate energy by respiration if it is present, but if oxygen is not present, then they can use the fermentation pathway to synthesize the ATP in the absence of sufficient oxygen. So they can grow in the presence of oxygen, but they can better grow in the absence of oxygen. So facultative anaerobes means there's also a term which is called facultative aerobes. Facultative aerobes and facultative anaerobes. In the facultative aerobes, first of all, we will take the excuse me, beta. Facultative aerobes are those organisms that can survive in the presence of oxygen and in the absence as well, but they can better grow in the presence of oxygen. Then comes the facultative anaerobes. The facultative anaerobes also can grow in the presence of oxygen and in the absence of oxygen, but they can better grow in the absence of oxygen. Then comes the obligate anaerobes. Obligate anaerobes means that they will grow in the absence of oxygen. They cannot grow in the presence of oxygen. So they are obligate anaerobes. Obligate anaerobes means oxygen, they will not require oxygen. So they will not grow in the presence of oxygen, because as I told you that when oxygen, a bacteria requires oxygen, as I told you in this reaction, that when oxygen will utilize, it will produce two toxic molecules for the for bacteria, that are hydrogen peroxide and superoxide, and bacteria will use certain enzymes for this to catalyze these reactions, that are superoxide dismutase and catalase. So these obligate anaerobes are, they lack these enzymes, the superoxide dismutase or catalase, or they can lack both as well. So when they lack these enzymes, they cannot degrade the toxic molecules, which are hydrogen peroxide and superoxide. So they cannot grow in the presence of oxygen. जब एक बैक्टीरिया के पास वो एंजाइम्स नहीं होंगे बेटा, तो वो उसको डिग्रेड नहीं कर सकेगा टॉक्सिक मॉलिक्यूल्स को, इस वजह से वो ऑक्सीजन की प्रेजेंस में ग्रो नहीं करेगा. मैंने आपको बताया कि ऑक्सीजन की प्रेजेंस में क्या होता है कि टू टॉक्सिक मॉलिक्यूल्स बनते हैं, जो हैं हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड और सुपर ऑक्साइड. तो उनको डिग्रेड करने के लिए बैक्टीरिया के पास सर्टेन एंजाइम्स होते हैं, ठीक है, जो फिर आगे उसे डिग्रेड कर देते हैं वाटर में और ऑक्सीजन में, जो कि नॉन टॉक्सिक हैं, ठीक है. तो जब बेटा ये एंजाइम्स ही मौजूद नहीं होंगे बैक्टीरिया में, तो वो ग्रो नहीं कर सकते प्रेजेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन में. ओके, they vary in their response to oxygen exposure. Some can survive but are not able to grow, whereas others are killed rapidly. Then comes the microaerophiles. Micro means they will survive in the environment where concentration of oxygen is relatively low. Micro means they will micro means small. Okay, so they will survive in the environment where the concentration of oxygen will be small or low. Then comes the capnophiles. Capno means smoke. Some of the bacteria require an atmosphere in which the oxygen is low, and that environment is rich in the carbon dioxide. For example, Neisseria and Streptococcus species grow better in this kind of environment. Then come the acidophiles. Acidophiles are the acid-tolerant bacteria like the lactobacillus. As I told you, in our GI tract, the lactobacillus is a part of the normal flora. Likewise, in the vagina, lactobacillus is a part of the normal flora of vagina, and it keeps the pH low. आपको पता है बेटा कि GI tract में खासतौर पे stomach में acidity होती है. So they are the acid-tolerant bacteria. Other bacteria will not survive in the acidic environment. So some of the bacteria are acidophiles. So they are acid-tolerant bacteria, for example, lactobacillus. Then comes the halophiles. Halophiles are the bacteria that require the high levels of salt or the sodium chloride to survive. Then comes the fermentation of sugar. For identification of the several important human pathogens are based on the fermentation of certain sugars. We will जब हम बेटा स्पेशल बैक्टीरियोलॉजी पढ़ेंगे ना तो हम पढ़ेंगे कि डिफरेंट क्लासेस ऑफ बैक्टीरिया जो हैं हम उन्हें डिफरेंशिएट करते हैं ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फर्मेंटेशन ऑफ द शुगर्स. फॉर एग्जांपल नाइसेरिया गोनोरिया, नाइसेरिया मेनिंजाइटिस, they are these organisms are the gram negative cocci. ये एक ही क्लास में आते हैं बट दे आर डिफरेंट स्पीशीज और हम उनको कैसे डिफरेंशिएट करते हैं? वी विल डिफरेंशिएट देम ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द फर्मेंटेशन ऑफ शुगर्स. Like Neisseria meningitis will ferment the maltose and Neisseria gonorrhoeae will not ferment maltose. ठीक है? And they can both ferment glucose. So हम जब बेटा आगे डिफरेंशिएट करते हैं ना कि ऑर्गेनिज्म नाइसेरिया मेनिंजाइटिस है या नाइसेरिया गोनोरिया है तो हम कैसे करेंगे? हम जब ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फर्मेंटेशन हमें आइडिया हो जाता है. लाइक नाइसेरिया मेनिंजाइटिस will ferment the maltose whereas the Neisseria gonorrhoeae will not ferment maltose. They both can ferment glucose but only Neisseria meningitis will ferment the maltose. Like E. coli can be differentiated from Salmonella and Shigella on the basis of the fermentation of lactose. E. coli is the lactose fermenter bacteria, whereas Salmonella and Shigella are not. So, हम इस तरह डिफरेंशिएट कर लेंगे. जब हम बायोकेमिकल्स में देखेंगे और हम देखेंगे कि शुगर फर्मेंटेशंस में हम उसको कैसे डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हैं. E. coli is the lactose fermenter. Fermentation or breakdown of sugars such as glucose and maltose to the pyruvic acid and then usually to the lactic acid. Also called the glycolytic cycle, and this is the process by which the facultative bacteria generate ATP in the absence of oxygen. Now, some of bacteria are classified according to the temperature requirements. First of all, the psychrophiles, they are the cold. Psychro means cold, means the optimal growth rate below, their optimal growth rate is below 15 degrees Celsius, but they can grow at 0 to 20 degrees Celsius. So they will grow in the cold environment. Then comes the thermophiles. Thermo means heat. They multiply best at the temperatures around 60 degrees Celsius, but they can multiply from, उनकी range क्या है? 40 to 70 degrees Celsius. So they are the bacteria that will grow in the high temperatures. But then comes the hyperthermophiles. Hyperthermophiles are the bacteria that will grow in the very hot environment. They will grow optimally above 80 degrees Celsius. For example, organisms isolated from the seawater. Then comes the mesophiles. Meso means middle. They thrive at the middle temperature range from 10 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius. Okay. This ends our topic of the growth. Just a minute. Are you able to see this new topic, host defenses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, now we will move on to our next topic, which is host defenses. Just a minute. Sorry. Yes, beta. Yes, Anam.
मैम पैथोजेनेसिस नहीं करना।
जेनेसिस क्या कह रही है बेटा?
मैम वो वाला टॉपिक नहीं करना।
करना है, करना है. Your next topic will
ओके
be.
थैंक यू।
Okay, beta. Now we will move on to our topic, which is host defenses. Host defenses, maybe you will find it a difficult topic because अभी आप लोगों ने information नहीं पढ़ी और आप लोगों को इतना idea नहीं है इन सारी चीजों का. But I will give you a general outline. Host defenses का क्या, आपको क्या लगता है कि host defenses का क्या मतलब होगा?
मैम पैथोजेंस के अगेंस्ट डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म।
Shabash. You can say. Very good.
Ma'am,
Innate
first
to-
line of defense, second line of defense.
Third line of defense as well. Okay. Against the pathogens. Then बिल्कुल ठीक कहा. Host defenses are composed of the two complementary frequently interactive systems like innate, which is non-specific defenses which generally protect us from the microorganisms, and then comes the acquired or the specific immunity which protects against a particular microorganism. So in innate defenses, they will generally protect us against the microorganism but not against the specific or the particular microorganism. Then comes the acquired immunity, which protects us against a particular organism. So in innate or non-specific defenses, I told you that innate defenses can be classified into three major categories: the physical barriers such as intact skin and the mucous membranes, the phagocytic cells such as neutrophils, macrophages and the natural killer cells, and the proteins such as complement, lysozymes and interferon. So in innate defenses, they will be classified into three major categories: the physical barriers, the phagocytic cells and the proteins. Okay, the innate defenses which will generally protect us against microorganisms, not against the specific organisms. The major categories are the physical barriers, the phagocytic cells and the proteins. Then come the acquired or specific defenses that are mediated by antibodies and the T lymphocytes, and they are against the specific microorganism. Like agar, for example, our skin is a part of the innate or the non-specific defense because it protects us against many organisms, right? But if we acquire an infection, for example, measles or mumps, then the antibodies that are produced against that virus will be against come under the acquired defenses because we are our body is producing the antibodies against a specific antigen. Okay, बात समझ आई?
मैम इनेट के अंदर फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस सेकंड लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस लिख सकते हैं उसकी जगह पे?
बेटा मैं आपको सब कुछ बताती हूँ, आप मुझे सिर्फ पहले ये बताओ कि आपको ये समझ आ गई कि व्हाट इज innate defense?
यस मैम।
It
Three,
is a general
really good,
defense
yeah.
mechanism. Okay, then comes the
Yes, ma'am.
acquired defense. Acquired defense is against a particular organism. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि innate defense में क्या है कि for example skin, it protects us against many organisms. But whenever we acquire an infection, and our body produces antibodies against a certain microorganism, like मैंने आपको बताया कि measles जब हमें होता है तो बेटा उसके बाद क्या होता है, measles virus के against हमारी bodies जो है वो antibodies बनाती हैं. So this type of immunity is acquired or the specific immunity. 11, 10. Then comes the three lines of defense against the infection. Non-specific defense mechanisms comes under have first line of defense and the second line of defense. Then comes the specific defense mechanisms and the third line of defense comes under this one. Then अब आपको समझ आ गई? In the innate immunity or in the non-specific defenses, the first line of defense and the second line of defense is present. Okay, We will include the first line of defense and second line of defense under the innate or non-specific defense mechanisms. But the specific or acquired defenses come, we will have the third line of defense, which are antibodies and the lymphocytes. If you have any query, you can ask about the first, second और third line of defense. अब आपको पता लग गया कि innate और non-specific defenses के अंदर क्या क्या है, कौन से lines of defense है, first and second. The third one will come under acquired or specific defense mechanism. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So the first line of defense will have the skin, mucous membranes, secretions of skin and the mucous membranes. And the second line of defense will include the phagocytic cells, antimicrobial proteins and the inflammatory response. And the third line of defense will include the lymphocytes and antibodies. So there are two types of there are generally two categories, the innate defenses and the acquired defenses. And the innate defense will include the first line of defense and the second line of defense. And the specific or the acquired defense will include the third line of defense. Now comes the, look at this slide. Sorry. Bacteria will enter the skin. There will be activation of the complement via the alternate pathway. अच्छा बेटा, आपको में से किसी ने कभी complement system के बारे में पढ़ा है? Do you have any
Yes,
idea
ma'am.
about the complement system?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me about the functions of the complement system. 3 basic functions. It is a general discussion. I'm not asking a specific question from anyone. Yes.
बैक्टीरिया
वो
के मैम लाइसिस
intrinsic और
करवाते हैं
extrinsic
ऑप्सोनाइजेशन
injury के।
वाला
Opsonization वाला और
मैम
anyone
बैक्टीरिया के साथ
find-
उसको मेम्ब्रेन के ऊपर अटैक करेगा और उसकी लाइसिस करवाएगा बैक्टीरिया की ये
okay.
मैम एंटी कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री प्रोटीन्स एक्टिवेट होती हैं और नेक्स्ट वो C1, C2, C3 जो हैं वो एंटीबॉडीज की प्रोडक्शन और इम्यूनिटी में हेल्प करेंगे।
Okay, you can say सबसे पहले बेटा क्या है, complement system के 3 functions याद रखना. It can either direct attack on the bacteria or on the microorganism and it will degrade it. First of all is lysis. Lysis means destruction. The first one is lysis or destruction. Either it will attack the microorganism and directly kill it. Fine. The second one is it will release the mediators, certain mediators, and it will induce inflammation. Number 3 is it will mediate the opsonization, and there will be opsonization and phagocytosis of the bacteria, right? जब भी complement system की बात आएगी ना, आपने 3 चीजें याद रखनी है. Either it will directly lyse bacteria, it will mediate, it will release the mediators and induce the inflammation. Number 3 is opsonization and phagocytosis. Okay.
yes
So bacteria will enter the skin. There will be activation of the complement by the alternate pathway. C5 will attract the neutrophils. C3 will opsonize the bacteria, which enhances the phagocytes and the neutrophils. And C5, C6, C7, C8, and C9 will form the membrane, form membrane attack complex that lies the bacteria. समझ आ गई यहाँ तक? देखो, ये मैंने आपको कहा कि either it will lyse the bacteria directly, or it will opsonize and phagocytose it, and either it will really, attract the neutrophils and release the mediators or the inflammatory mediators and will induce inflammation. And then there will be the second mechanism is phagocytosis by the neutrophils or the macrophages. Neutrophils, do you have any idea about the neutrophils or the macrophages? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. These are
lymphocytes.
Leukocytes, very good.
lymphocytes की type.
अच्छा, ल्यूकोसाइट व्हाइट ब्लड सेल्स है ना, न्यूट्रोफिल्स।
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
एक्यूट
Yes, ma'am.
अच्छा, मेरी बात याद रखना, हमेशा जब भी एक्यूट इन्फ्लेमेशन होगी न्यूट्रोफिल्स विल बी रिलीज, व्हेनेवर देयर विल बी chronic inflammation मैक्रोफेजेस विल प्ले a role. ठीक है,
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
whenever there will be acute inflammation neutrophils will play a role. पर जो सेल्स है ना acute inflammation के, acute का क्या मतलब है, chronic का क्या मतलब, any idea?
Ma'am, acute is short term, chronic is long term.
शाबाश. And what is chronic?
Long
Prolonged
term.
effect हो जिसका.
Long term.
शाबाश. Like TB in Mycobacterium tuberculosis or in the tuberculosis, you will have chronic inflammation. बहुत देर चलता हुआ प्रोसेस है ना वो, ठीक है. और फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप लेते हैं कि खुदा ना खास्ता किसी को कोई बर्न इंजरी हो गई है, इट इज एक्यूट और chronic?
Chronic.
नो, बर्न इंजरी
Acute.
Acute, acute.
acute.
Hmm.
Okay? So neutrophils are the cells of acute inflammation, macrophages are the cells of chronic inflammation. Then macrophages will produce cytokines and present epitopes and stimulate the antibodies and cell-mediated immunity. What are the host defenses? The host defenses, types of host defenses are pyogenic and granulomatous response. Pyogenic is acute and granulomatous is chronic. Now we will talk about the extracellular pathogens and the intracellular pathogens. Staphylococcus aureus and Streptococcus pyogenes are defended against by the pyogenic or pus-producing response, which consists of the antibody, the complement, and the neutrophils. The pyogenic bacteria are often called the extracellular pathogens because they don't invade the cells. वो cells जो के invade नहीं करते cells के अंदर, host cell के अंदर, उन्हें हम कहते हैं extracellular pathogens. Okay? जो
Yes, ma'am.
microorganisms host cell के अंदर जाके छुप के बैठ जाते हैं, उन्हें हम कहते हैं intracellular pathogens. Like Mycobacterium tuberculosis. अब हम अगर आपने कभी सुना भी होगा तो आपको ये पता होगा कि जो टीबी है उसकी ट्रीटमेंट जो है वो हम 6 to 9 months कंटिन्यू करते हैं, ठीक है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
कंटिन्यू करते हैं बिकॉज इट इज एन इंट्रासेलुलर पैथोजन. जो इंट्रासेलुलर पैथोजन होता है ना बेटा, उसको डिग्रेड करना थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है, वो आपके सेल में जाके छुप के बैठ जाता है, ठीक है. या तो ये होता है कि वो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल या तो वो फेगोलाइसोसोम नहीं बनता, ठीक है. वो आपके जो फेगोसोम्स हैं उनको ये पता ही नहीं चलता कि ये बैठा हुआ है आपके सेल के अंदर, और फेगोसोम जो उसकी फेगोसाइटोसिस नहीं होती. देन अगर फेगोलाइसोसोम बन भी जाता है तो लाइसोसोम्स जो हैं वो उसको वो मीडिएटर्स वो एंजाइम्स नहीं रिलीज कर पाते जो उसको डिग्रेड करें. सो दैट्स व्हाई द इंट्रासेलुलर पैथोजेंस विल रिमेन इन द सेल्स फॉर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. The intracellular pathogens, Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Listeria monocytogenes are defended against by the granulomatous response, which consists of macrophages and CD4 positive helper T cells. The intracellular pathogens can invade and survive within the cells. So, in the cases of the intracellular pathogens, they can be chronic inflammation. Now, the innate or the non-specific immunity, skin and the mucous membranes. First of all, we have an intact skin, which is a very important part of the defense mechanism. It is the first line of defense. अब थोड़ा सा मुझे हम recall करें, first line of defense क्या था, second line of defense क्या था, third line of defense क्या था?
Yes.
बताओ शाबाश.
Membrane.
Mucous membrane.
Skin, mucous membrane, and
One by one.
secretions.
Ma'am.
One by one.
Skin.
Zaid बेटा मुझे बताओ, what is the first line of defense?
Ma'am, skin and mucous membranes
Very
and
good.
secretion of skins.
Skin and mucous membranes. Very good.
Yes,
What is the second line of defense?
ma'am, phagocytic white cells, जो white blood cells होती हैं, phagocytic cells और antimicrobial proteins.
शाबाश.
And the
complement
inflammatory
system as well,
response.
ठीक है ना? और what is
Yes, ma'am.
and these two come under the innate or the non-specific defense mechanism.
Defense mechanism.
And the third one is the specific or acquired defense mechanism, and it will include
Lymphocytes and antibodies.
antibodies. Very good. So intact skin is the first line of defense against many organisms. In addition to the physical barrier, which is presented by the skin, the fatty acids secreted by the sebaceous glands in the skin have antibacterial and antifungal activity. So skin वैसे तो एक physical barrier है ही है. The fatty acids that are released by the sebaceous glands in the skin also have antibacterial and antifungal activity. The increased fatty acid production that occurs at puberty is thought to explain the increased resistance to the ringworm fungal infections which occur at that time, and the low pH of the skin between 3 and 5, which is due to these fatty acids, also has an antimicrobial effect. So the fatty acids produced करती है skin at the time of puberty, it will provide the resistance against the ringworm fungal infections, and the low pH of skin will act as an antimicrobial effect. Do we have any organism that can survive in the low pH? I told you.
GIT flora.
Yes, and name the organism. Do you have any idea? Lactobacillus.
Lactobacillus. Yes.
Shabash. And this other side in which the lactobacillus.
Vagina.
Yes, very good. Although many organisms live on or in the skin as members of the normal flora, they are harmless as long as they don't enter the body. As I told you, the members of the normal flora are only and only harmless at their usual anatomic sites, but if they will leave those sites, then they will be pathogens. So the next one is the mucous membrane of the respiratory tract. No, it is the not the first line, second line. It is the first line of defense, and it is the line with the cilia and covered with mucus. The coordinated beating of cilia and cilia drives the mucus up to the nose and mouth, where the trapped bacteria can be expelled. So, आपके बेटा cilia, which is lining your respiratory tract, will trap the mucus, will trap the bacteria. The mucociliary apparatus, the ciliary elevator, can be damaged by alcohol, cigarette smoke, and viruses. आपने अगर देखा होगा बेटा, खुदा न खास्ता जो सिगरेट स्मोकर्स होते हैं उसमें उनका सिलरी एपिथेलियम जो है वो काफी हद तक डैमेज हो जाता है. तो अगर आपने कभी स्मोकर्स को देखा हो तो आप देखते हो कि कफ उनकी बड़ी प्रोडक्टिव किस्म की कफ होती है. ऐसे ही है ना? एंड इन वायरसेस में अगर आप देख लो, ये कोविड को ही देख लो, तो उसमें भी क्या है बेटा, इट डैमेजेस द सिलरी एपिथेलियम. तो क्या है कि सिक्रीशंस जो हैं वो लंग्स के अंदर ही रह जाती हैं. एक्चुअली सीलिया क्या करता है, इट ड्राइव्स द म्यूकस अप टू द नोज एंड माउथ सो दैट वी कैन एक्सपेल इट. ठीक है?
Yes.
The loss of the physical barrier provided by the skin and mucous membranes predisposes to infection. These are the predisposing factors along with the bacteria. Damage to skin and mucous membranes predisposes to infection caused by certain bacteria. The intravenous catheters, predisposing factor क्या है बेटा? Intravenous catheter. मैंने आपको बेटा बताया था कि जो intravenous catheters की example बताई थी ना कल मैंने आपको.
Yes, ma'am.
शाबाश.
Branula.
Brenla is an example. CP line is an example. तो बेटा क्या है कि skin is a site of infection, and the bacteria that are commonly causing infection associated with the predisposing factors is Staphylococcus epidermidis and Staphylococcus aureus. अब देखो, Staphylococcus epidermidis is a part of the normal flora of our skin, but if there will be any breach in the skin, it can invade in the skin and it will cause the endocarditis in patients with prostatic heart valves. Prostatic heart valves का पता है ना बेटा?
No, ma'am.
Prostatic heart valves क्या होते हैं? Valvular heart surgeries में जब हम prosthetic valves लगाते हैं,
Ma'am, artificial.
हाँ, artificial valves लगाते हैं, उन patients में ये endocarditis करा सकते हैं. ठीक है? Like diabetes, as I told you, the diabetic patients are the immunocompromised patients, and the organism which can cause infection. is Staphylococcus aureus and the site of infection will be skin. Burns में भी बेटा क्या है कि जो predisposing factor है, खुदा ना खासा किसी को burn हो जाता है तो skin जो है उसपे bacteria that will commonly affect it or cause infection on the skin will be Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and Pseudomonas is a very resistant organism, and it will can produce the greenish pus. Cystic fibrosis is associated with the respiratory tract. इसमें क्या है कि बेटा वही बात है कि ciliary epithelium जो है वो disturb होता है, and the bacteria that will commonly cause infection will be Pseudomonas, and that if there will be any trauma to the jaw, there will be the infection will be caused by actinomyces, and if there will be dental extraction, the infection will be caused by the viridin streptococci. Likewise, ये बेटा आपकी याद करने वाली चीजें हैं. Then comes the defenses. Defenses are the additional protection in the gastrointestinal tract and in the lower respiratory tract. They are highly positively charged peptides that create pores in the membranes of the bacteria, which can kill them. तो ये क्या करते हैं बेटा? They are the charged peptides that will create pores in the membrane of the bacteria. अब किसी में बैक्टीरिया की मेम्ब्रेन में जब pores बन जाएंगे बेटा तो it will destroy it.
लेकिन मैम जो बैक्टीरिया के सेल वॉल के तो नहीं पेनिट्रेट करेगा ना फिर ये?
क्यों नहीं कर सकता बेटा? Why not?
यहाँ पे सेल मेम्ब्रेन लिखा हुआ है ना, तो
कोई बात
सेल वॉल,
So
अच्छा
it
सेल वॉल
can,
कब भी करेगा?
it can.
ओके.
हाँ मुझे ये बताओ बेटा कि whenever we are talking about bacteria, तो bacteria जो हैं बेटा वो Wallace bacteria तो बहुत कम है ना. Wallace bacteria
Yes,
is
ma'am.
only mycoplasma.
यस मैम.
When we use the term bacteria, then mostly we are referring to the gram positive bacteria and the gram negative bacteria, और gram positive और gram negative bacteria में differentiate हम करते किसकी basis पे हैं? On the basis of the cell wall.
सेल वॉल.
ठीक है? So whenever we are talking about bacteria, आप ये जहन में रखें कि वो उनकी cell wall होती है. Only
Okay,
the Wallace bacteria is mycoplasma. All other bacteria have their cell wall.
ओके मैम.
So neutrophils and Pennant cells in the intestinal crypts contain one type of defensin, which is alpha defensins, and the respiratory tract produces different defenses called the beta defensins. Inflammatory response and the phagocytosis. The presence of the foreign bodies, such as bacteria, within the body provokes a protective inflammatory response. अब आप मुझे ये बताओ, अब हम किस टाइप पे पहुंच गए हैं? What is this?
line of defense.
Second line
Line
of
of defense. Very good. It is characterized by the clinical findings. अच्छा बेटा, जब भी inflammation होती है ना, उसके कोई cardinal signs, ठीक है? The cardinal signs of inflammation are redness, swelling, warmth, and pain. ठीक है? There are 4 cardinal signs of inflammation. Whenever there will be inflammation, these signs will be present. जब भी inflammation होगी, वहाँ पे redness होगी, वहाँ swelling होगी, वहाँ warmth means उस जगह का temperature बाकी जगहों से ज्यादा होगा, and there will be pain at the site of infection. खुदा ना खास्ता आपको अगर कोई इंजरी आ जाती है, फॉर एग्जांपल छोटा सा स्क्रैच ही होता है आपके स्किन पे, तो वहां पे जो वहां पे इन्फ्लेमेशन होगी ना उस टाइम पे, तो आप देखो कि वहां पे रेडनेस भी होगी, वहां पे स्वेलिंग भी हल्की हल्की होती है, वार्म मींस उस एरिया का टेम्परेचर बाकी एरिया से डिफरेंट होता है बिकॉज ऑफ इन्फ्लेमेशन और द केमिकल मीडिएटर्स दैट आर प्रोड्यूस एट दैट साइट, एंड द पेन विल आल्सो बी प्रेजेंट एट दैट साइट. Due to the increased blood flow, increased capillary permeability, and the escape of fluid and cells into the tissue spaces, ये सारी की सारी जो cardinal signs हैं, they are due to the increased blood flow, increased capillary permeability, and the escape of fluid and cells into the tissue spaces. The increased permeability is due to the several chemical mediators that are released at the site of inflammation, that includes histamine, prostaglandins, and leukotrienes. Now, if you are able to see this chart, inflammatory response and the phagocytosis. First of all, the pyogenic bacteria that are the extracellular bacteria or that are present outside the host cells. And then comes the intracellular bacteria. वैसे बेटा ये हम कर चुके हैं. ये मुझे दोबारा कराने की जरूरत है बेटा?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Now we will move on to the process of phagocytosis. There are 3 steps of the phagocytosis. जब हम बात करते हैं phagocytosis की तो हम 3 steps में phagocytosis होती है. Phagocytosis का मतलब क्या है? Engulfment of bacteria. ठीक है? और engulfment of any microorganism. सबसे पहले क्या होता है बेटा कि there will be migration. जहां आपके inflammatory cells जो हैं site of infection की तरफ migrate करते हैं. फिर क्या करते हैं? उस अपनी जो उनकी वॉल है वो अगेंस्ट दैट बैक्टीरिया जो है वो उसको पूरा सराउंड कर लेंगे एंड देन दे विल इंजेस्ट दैट. फिर क्या बनेगा? जो फेगोसोम बन जाता है. ठीक है ना? जो फेगोसोम में क्या होता है? फेगोसोम में वो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म प्रेजेंट होता है. देन इट विल fuse with the lysosome and form the phagolysosome. Then there will be proteolytic enzymes will be released and that organism will be killed. What is opsonization? The bacteria are ingested by the invagination of the polymorphoneutrophils. PMN means neutrophils. Cell membrane around the bacteria to form a vacuole which is called the phagosome. मैंने आपको बताया कि क्या होता है कि न्यूट्रोफिल्स अपनी मेम्ब्रेन को अराउंड बैक्टीरिया जो है वो इन्वेजिनेट कर लेते हैं एंड दे विल फॉर्म अ वैक्यूल. ठीक है? जैसे आप लोग ये कह लो कि एक बच्चा है वो अपने फ्रेंड के पास फॉर एग्जांपल फ्रेंड के पास जा रहा है और उसने उसको दोनों बाजुओं से जो है हग कर लिया फॉर एग्जांपल. तो लाइकवाइज इसी तरह वो अपनी मेम्ब्रेन को इन्वेजिनेट कर लेते हैं बैक्टीरिया के अराउंड एंड दे विल फॉर्म अ वैक्यूल एंड दिस वैक्यूल इज कॉल्ड अ फेगोसोम. This engulfment is enhanced by the binding of IgG antibodies that are called opsonins to the surface of bacteria, and this process is called opsonization. So this engulfment is also enhanced by the IgG antibodies that are late phase antibodies. The C3b component of the complement enhances the opsonization as well. What is the importance of phagocytosis? Phagocytosis की importance क्या है? Repeated infections occur in children with genetic अगर खुदा न खास्ता phagocytosis का process नहीं होता किसी में तो बेटा क्या होगा? There will be enhanced infections. Okay, the example of this defect is chronic granulomatous disease in which the phagocyte cannot kill the ingested bacteria owing to a defect in the NADPH oxidase and a resultant failure to generate the hydrogen peroxide that will be microbicidal to the that bacteria. तो जब जनरेट नहीं होगा हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड तो क्या होगा बेटा? बैक्टीरिया किल नहीं होगा. सो फेगोसाइटोसिस का प्रोसेस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. नाउ द न्यूट्रोपेनिक पेशेंट दे विल न्यूट्रोपेनिक पेशेंट्स कौन से होते हैं बेटा? इन विच द polymorphoneutrophil count will be low. It will be less than 500 microliters. And whenever there will be the count of the neutrophils will be low, there will be depressed immunity and mediators release नहीं होंगे. उस cell mediated immunity suppress हो जाती है. Frequent infections occur in the neutropenic patients, especially when the polymorphoneutrophils count drops and it will be less than 500 microliters as a result of the immunosuppressive drugs or the irradiation. तो न्यूट्रोपेनिक पेशेंट्स होते कौन है बेटा? न्यूट्रोपेनिक पेशेंट्स वो होते हैं जिनमें न्यूट्रोफिलिक काउंट कम होता है. और न्यूट्रोफिलिक काउंट कम क्यों होगा? इट कैन बी ड्यू टू एनी इम्यूनोसप्रेसिव ड्रग और रेडिएशन. जब भी किसी को खुदा ना खास्ता कीमोथेरेपी होती है या रेडिएशन होती है या इम्यूनोसप्रेसिव ड्रग्स देते हैं. इम्यूनोसप्रेसिव ड्रग्स हम मोस्टली किन में देते हैं? ऑटो इम्यून डिजीजेस के पेशेंट्स में. ठीक है तो बेटा उसकी
Yes, ma'am.
क्या होता है? पॉलीमॉर्फोन्यूट्रोफिल काउंट जो है इट विल डिप्रेस. जब डिप्रेस होगा तो बेटा फिर जाहिर सी बात है कि इम्यूनिटी भी डिप्रेस होती है. स्प्लीनेक्टोमाइज्ड पेशेंट्स. स्प्लीनेक्टोमाइज्ड पेशेंट्स कौन से होते हैं बेटा? इन विच there will be splenectomy or the spleen will be removed. Splenectomy removes an important source of both phagocytes and immunoglobulins. बेटा please. class? Coming to whole class?
Yes, ma'am.
So splenectomy removes an important source of both phagocytes and immunoglobulins, which predisposes to sepsis caused by 3 encapsulated pathogenic bacteria, Staphylococcus pneumoniae, Neisseria meningitidis, and Haemophilus influenza. बेटा encapsulated bacteria मैं आपको कराऊंगी जब हम पढ़ेंगे special bacteriology. There are 3 encapsulated bacteria. और क्या होता है बेटा? Spleen is a part of your reticuloendothelial system. ठीक है, पता है ना? So whenever the spleen will be removed, the important source of phagocytes and immunoglobulins will be removed, so which predisposes to infections. And और जो बाकी examples हैं बेटा उसमें है कि sickle cell anemia and diabetes. The patients with sickle cell anemia and other hereditary anemias can auto-infarct their spleen, resulting in loss of splenic function and a predisposition to sepsis caused by these bacteria. तो बेटा सिर्फ splenectomy के patients नहीं, जिनमें sickle cell anemia है या कोई भी hereditary anemia है, they can auto-infarct their spleen and result in the loss of splenic function, which is very important. People who have diabetes mellitus, as I told you, the diabetic patients are the immunocompromised patients, especially those who have poor glucose control or episodes of the ketoacidosis, have an increased number of infections and more severe infections compared with people who don't have diabetes. जब भी आपने बेटा देखा है कि डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स को कोई भी वुंड होता है तो हम उसकी बहुत ज्यादा हमें केयर करनी पड़ती है, बिकॉज व्हाई? कोई बता सकता है मुझे? आमना, कैन यू?
immunocompromised होते हैं इसलिए.
व्हाई दे आर इम्यूनोकॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड? चलो ठीक है, ये भी बात है कि दे आर इम्यूनोकॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड. कोई और? एनी अदर? बेटा जब भी डायबिटिक पेशेंट को कोई वुंड होता है तो हम उसको इसलिए बहुत ध्यान से रखते हैं, उसके हम बहुत, बिकॉज डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स का जो बेटा टिश्यूज होते हैं ना, दे आर रिच इन ग्लूकोज. ऐसे ही है. एंड व्हेनेवर देयर विल बी ग्लूकोज, इट इज अ nidus फॉर इन्फेक्शंस. वो ग्लूकोज एक बहुत अच्छा सोर्स है माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स के लिए ग्रो करने का. ठीक है, जब टिश्यूज में और ग्लूकोज कंटेंट ज्यादा होगा तो क्या होगा? माइक्रोब्स कहेंगे ओ ये तो बहुत अच्छी जगह है, यहाँ तो हम जाके ग्रो कर सकते हैं, यहाँ तो हमें बहुत ज्यादा खाना मिलेगा. ठीक है, बात समझ आई?
Yes, ma'am.
और दूसरी बात ये है कि बेटा आपको पता है कि पेरिफेरल न्यूरोपैथी डेवलप हो जाती है ऐसे पेशेंट्स को, दैट्स व्हाई भी हमें उनको देखना पड़ता है. और खैर मेरा आपको बताने का मकसद ये था कि बिकॉज उनका व्हाई दे आर प्रोन टू द इंक्रीज नंबर ऑफ इन्फेक्शंस एंड मोर सिवियर इन्फेक्शंस बिकॉज ऑफ देयर पुअर ग्लूकोज कंट्रोल. Specific diseases that are highly associated with diabetes, that are malignant otitis externa, which can be caused by the Pseudomonas aeruginosa, mucormycosis, which can be caused by molds. मैंने आपको बताया था बेटा, whenever we are talking about the molds or in the yeast, we are talking about fungi. Community acquired pneumonia caused by bacteria such as Streptococcus pneumoniae and Staphylococcus aureus, urinary tract infections, Candida albopictus, foot infections because atherosclerotic sclerosis compromises the blood supply and necrosis of the tissue can occur. Skin infections such as ulcers and cellulitis and osteomyelitis. These are that are associated with the diabetes. या आगे आगे बेटा जब हम स्पेसिफिकली हर ऑर्गेनिज्म को पढ़ेंगे तो आपको ये वैसे याद होना है, ये अभी शायद आपको मुश्किल लग रही हो. Now comes the acquired immunity. अब acquired immunity में आएगा बेटा आपका third line of defense. मैंने आपको बताया था the innate or the non-specific immunity is general. It is against many organisms or it is against all the microorganisms, but the acquired immunity is specific type of immunity. It is specifically against a certain microorganism. ठीक है? So acquired immunity have two types, the active and passive. आपको पता है बेटा passive immunity क्या होती है? Passive immunity is in which we introduce the preform antibodies into the host ताकि वो antibody foreign response आए. और ये हम mostly करते हैं tetanus में या टॉक्साइड्स हम इस तरह देते। तो एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी क्या होती है? एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी इज अ रेजिस्टेंस इंड्यूस्ड आफ्टर अ कांटेक्ट विद अ फॉरेन एंटीजन, फॉरेन और द माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म। फॉर एग्जांपल, मुझे किसी कोई भी इन्फेक्शन हुआ, मेरी बॉडी ने उसके अगेंस्ट एंटीबॉडीज बनाई। अब ये वाली जो immunity है ना, लाइफ लॉन्ग भी है और स्ट्रॉन्ग भी है, ठीक है।
मैम, ये कोविड वैक्सीन एंड एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी के लिए या पैसिव के लिए?
नो बेटा, दे विल बी अगेंस्ट द एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी।
ओके।
अच्छा, एक बात और याद रखो, whenever there will be infection और contact with a foreign antigen, तो आपकी अपनी बॉडी रिस्पॉन्स प्रोड्यूस करती है, वो सबसे अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स होता है, ठीक है। इट विल प्रोड्यूस एंटीबॉडीज अगेंस्ट दोज ऑर्गेनिज्म, सो दिस विल आल्सो कम्स अंडर एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी। बट बेटा कोविड को हम अभी कुछ भी कोविड के बारे में नहीं कह सकते, ठीक है। कोविड के बारे में तो री इन्फेक्शन के केसेस भी हैं, तो वी कांट से एनीथिंग अबाउट कोविड येट। So active immunity is the resistance induced after contact with the foreign antigen, and this immunity is long lasting and very strong. So passive immunity is in which we induce preform antibodies into host cell, ठीक है। तो प्रीफॉर्म एंटीबॉडीज बनी कहाँ कैसे होती है? प्रीफॉर्म एंटीबॉडीज ऐसे बनी होती है कि फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे कि टेटनस के केस में ये था कि बेटा जब हम हॉर्स के अंदर वो एंटीजन इंजेक्ट करते हैं और उसके अगेंस्ट जो एंटीबॉडीज बनती हैं वो हम फिर उसके प्लाज्मा से लेते हैं और फिर हम जो है वो प्रीफॉर्म एंटीबॉडीज जो है वो लगाते हैं। तो दिस इज कॉल्ड द पैसिव इम्यूनिटी। पैसिव इम्यूनिटी शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन की होती है, और अगर हमें फॉरेन इम्यूनिटी चाहिए, आपको पता है एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी को तो बनते एक्सपोजर होते फॉरेन एंटीजन अगर हम कोई भी देते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल वैक्सीन्स में मोस्टली हम क्या होता है, एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी होती है। एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी क्या होती है कि आप या तो किल्ड लाइफ एटेन्यूएटेड और किल्ड वायरसेस दे रहे हो, ठीक है, या एंटीजन्स दे रहे हो या टॉक्साइड्स दे रहे हो, तो उस एंटीजन्स दे रहे हो, टॉक्साइड्स नहीं बेटा। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि उन एंटीजन्स के अगेंस्ट आपकी अपनी बॉडी जो है एंटीबॉडीज प्रोड्यूस करती है, तो इसमें थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है, ठीक है। इट इज नॉट द इमीडिएट इम्यूनिटी। इमीडिएट इम्यूनिटी जो है वो पैसिव इम्यूनिटी जरूर है, बट इट विल आल्सो ऑफर शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन। सो एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी जो है इट कैन टेक सम टाइम। So passive acquired immunity is a temporary protection against an organism acquired by receiving serum containing preform antibodies from another person or an animal. Mostly क्या होता है, हम एनिमल से लेते हैं। अच्छा बेटा, कोविड के केस में जो हम प्लाज्मा लोग डोनेट कर रहे हैं ना, इट कम्स
Yes,
अंडर
ma'am.
पैसिव इम्यूनिटी। प्लाज्मा से में क्या है, एंटीबॉडीज है ना। किसी भी आदमी को अगर एक्सपोजर हुआ है और उसकी बड़ी अच्छी सी एंटीबॉडीज बन रही है तो अपना प्लाज्मा डोनेट करा है, इट कम्स अंडर द पैसिव इम्यूनिटी। बट if we are talking about the vaccines, they come under the active immunity. Normally in the form of passive immunity क्या होती है बेटा, preform antibodies देते हैं हम, mostly they are in the form of the immunoglobulins. अच्छा, normally in the form of immunoglobulins pass through placenta, और इसकी एक नेचुरल एग्जांपल क्या है बेटा? नेचुरल एग्जांपल ये है कि whenever मदर टू फीटस जो immunoglobulins जो है वो पास करते हैं थ्रू प्लेसेंटा और थ्रू द ब्रेस्ट मिल्क, इट आल्सो कम्स अंडर द passive immunity. Now comes the advantages and disadvantages of the passive immunity. Advantage क्या है? It will provide protection immediately. As I told you, अगर immediate protection चाहिए तो हम passive immunity की तरफ जाते हैं. But the disadvantage is the protection usually lasts for a shorter duration. Now we will move on to the active acquired immunity. The protection based on exposure to an organism in the form of overt disease, subclinical infection. Subclinical infection is mostly asymptomatic infection. That is infection without symptoms or a vaccine. They comes under the acquired immunity. This protection has slow onset but a longer duration than a passive immunity. Primary response कब आना शुरू होता है? It usually takes 7 to 10 days, जिसके अंदर आपकी क्या डेवलप होती है, IgM एंटीबॉडी। उसके बाद कौन सी एंटीबॉडीज रिलीज होती हैं? IgG एंटीबॉडीज। सो एक्यूट फेज एंटीबॉडीज भी हैं, दे आर IgM एंटीबॉडीज, एंड द लेट फेज एंटीबॉडीज आर IgG एंटीबॉडीज. Active immunity is that an amnestic or the secondary response occurs, that is a rapid response, approximately 3 days of large amount of antibodies to an antigen that the immune system has previously encountered, and it is mediated by both antibodies, immunoglobulins and T cells. Now we will move on to the antibodies. Antibodies protect against many organisms by a variety of mechanisms. First of all, antibodies की जब हम बात करते हैं तो हमें ये भी तो पता होना चाहिए ना कि वो कैसे एक्ट करती हैं. They can act by variety of mechanisms. First of all, neutralization of toxins. क्या करती है? जो toxins produce करते हैं viruses या bacteria, it will neutralize them. The lysis of bacteria directly in the presence of complement, opsonization, and phagocytosis. It can also interfere with adherence of bacteria and viruses to the cell surfaces. So, आपको 5 चीजें याद रखनी है. First of all, antibodies will either neutralize the toxins, it will either lyse the bacteria, it will either opsonize or phagocyte and interfere with the adherence of bacteria and viruses to the cell surfaces. Now comes to the T cells. T cells mediate a variety of reactions, including a cytotoxic destruction. Cytotoxic means cells को kill करना. ठीक है? Cytotoxic or cytolytic reactions means cells को directly kill करना. Destruction of the viruses, infected cells, and bacteria. Activation of the macrophages and delayed hypersensitivity. T cells also help B cells to produce antibodies against many but not all antigens. तो क्या है कि बेटा T cells actually क्या है? They are the cytotoxic T cells. हम इन्हें cytotoxic T cells भी कहते हैं. ये actually क्या करते हैं? They will destruct those cells that are infected with the bacteria or the viruses. So this is our last slide, or it is summarizing each and every point. They are non-specific barriers. There are skin, mucous membranes, stomach acid, lysozymes in the tear as well. Expulsion is by the coughing, sneezing, vomiting, and diarrhea is also a first line of defense. And the second line comes under, first and second both comes under innate immunity. And the second line includes the macrophages, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, monocytes, and the complement system. And the adaptive or acquired immunity includes the T cell or the cellular response and the humoral antibodies. Okay. Is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
मुश्किल तो नहीं लगा?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh, man.
अच्छी बात है.
Yes, ma'am.
चलो ठीक है, शाबाश बेटा. If you have any if you have any query, you can ask, and if you find any difficulty in any topic, you can ask. Okay.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
Ma'am, can you
all-
share these slides?
share these slides? Yes, I will. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I will share, inshallah. You can give me your email address. I can share it there.
Ma'am, if you can share it in the WhatsApp group, then all of us will be
Okay,
able
I will
to.
upload it on the LMS.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I will upload
Thank
it
you.
on the LMS.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then you can have it from here. Slides में ये है कि summarize. I tried to summarize the things because in your book it is quite complicated.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you so much. I will upload it on the LMS. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.